Tonight, there is breaking news as we come on the air in the West. President Trump just moments ago announcing Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of the peace plan. The president now saying all of the hostages will be released very soon. The president had been handed a note late today by Secretary of State Marco Rubio in front of the cameras. Tonight, hear what that note said that indicated this could be happening. We'll go live to Mary Bruce. Also breaking at this hour, the arrest. A 29-year-old Uber driver now accused of setting the blaze that led to the horrific Palisades Fire that killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Where he was caught and the evidence tonight. The images authorities say he created of a city burning. Tonight, former FBI Director James Comey arraigned in federal court, pleading not guilty. Comey, a frequent target of President Trump, and tonight what ABC News has now learned about a central witness in this case. Tonight, the East Coast, millions now bracing for what could be the season's first nor'easter, a dangerous coastal storm right up into the Northeast. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast. Tonight, National Guard troops preparing to deploy to the streets of Chicago. Tonight, President Trump calling for the jailing of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Pritzker accusing the president of suffering from dementia, saying this is a man who has something stuck in his head. He can't get it out of his head. The government shutdown tonight, day 8, no end in sight. And the growing concern now over air traffic controllers forced to work without pay. Alarm over low staffing. And at Newark and Washington's Reagan Airport, they're actually reducing the flights coming in and out so controllers can keep up. The arrest tonight after 5 months on the run, convicted of double murder. The last of the 10 escapees to break free in New Orleans, found several states away to standoff. Authorities using gas canisters to flush him out of the house. And America Strong tonight, Dolly Parton right here. Her message tonight for all of you. What she says about her health with so much concern out there, and after her own sister asked fans for prayers. What Dolly is saying herself tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. As we come on the air in the West, we do begin tonight with the breaking news. President Trump revealing a short time ago that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of the U.S.-led peace plan. The president says this means all of the hostages will be released, in his words, very soon. Late today at the White House, President Trump was handed a note from Secretary of State Marco Rubio amid the high-stakes U.S.-led talks to end the war between Israel and Hamas. That note indicating they needed the president to approve a social media post so he could announce this first. Here's what President Trump said just moments later.
I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly.
So let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce. Mary, the president then making it official tonight. He says the first phase of this peace plan has been agreed to by Israel and Hamas. What else do we know at this hour?
Well, David, as part of this first phase of this peace plan, Israel is also agreeing to, quote, withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards what the president is describing as a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Now, in exchange, Hamas, as you note, is agreeing to release all of the hostages, quote, very soon. And just moments ago, Netanyahu saying that he will convene the Israeli government to ratify this ceasefire deal tomorrow. Also in a statement just now, the hostage families say they are welcoming this news with, quote, excitement, anticipation, and apprehension, but saying, quote, our struggle is not over and will not end until the last abductee returns. Now, we still don't know the timing of this, when those hostages will be released. But the president tonight, David, says he could travel to the Middle East this weekend. We are now 2 years and 1 day after the October 7th attack, and the president is now hailing this as a, quote, great day and thanking our Middle East allies, including Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, for facilitating this important first step towards peace, David.
Mary Bruce with the breaking news as we're on the air in the West. Mary, thank you. In the meantime, the other developing story, the arrest of a 29-year-old Uber driver now accused of setting the blaze that led to that horrific Palisades Fire in California that killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Where he was caught, and here's our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman.
Tonight, authorities say a 29-year-old Uber driver is responsible for the historic Palisades Fire that killed 12 people, destroyed more than 6,800 homes and businesses, and burned more than 37 square miles. Authorities arresting 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht overnight.
We will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he intentionally started this fire.
Authorities say Rinderknecht was in Pacific Palisades on New Year's Eve working as an Uber driver when he allegedly started this fire called the Lockman Fire just after midnight on January 1st. He allegedly called 911 to report it and then came back to watch the firefight. After several hours, fire authorities thought they had the Lockman Fire contained. They were wrong.
So that fire started on January 1st, and it smoldered underground for about a week until on January 7th, heavy winds caused this underground fire to surface and spread above ground, causing what became known as the Palisades Fire.
And we were there just after the Palisades Fire broke out and witnessed the horror as thousands of homes quickly went up in flames.
Everything is catching fire here. Trash bins, shrubs, trees, houses. The smoke is unbearable at this point. We've just seen 4 or 5 houses go up over the past few minutes here.
Rinderknecht arrested near his current home in Melbourne, Florida. Authorities say before starting the fire, he listened to a song by a French rap artist in which the music video for the song shows the main character lighting things on fire. And among the evidence, they say they recovered this image of a city on fire that authorities say the suspect created using ChatGPT. Investigators say the evidence points to a suspect obsessed with fire.
We have evidence of that will be addressed in trial, but evil people do evil things.
And David, about 9 months after that fire, we've noticed something new here in Pacific Palisades, and that's construction. But you only get a real sense of what's going on here from above. With that drone, I want you to see that most parts of the Palisades still look like a vast dirt parking lot. Now, there are nearly 7,000 structures destroyed. New homes are being constructed in just 230 lots at this point, according to the city, as so many families continue to battle it out with their insurance companies. And as for that suspect who's accused of causing all of this, he could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. David.
And Matt, I'm glad you pointed out, even with that new construction, so many other families still fighting with their insurance companies, trying just to get started on the recovery. Matt, thank you. Tonight, the dramatic scene in court. Former FBI Director James Comey arraigned in federal court, pleading not guilty. Comey, a frequent target of President Trump, and tonight what ABC News is now learning about a central witness in this case. Comey's team now trying to get this trial dismissed before it even starts. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. He was in the courtroom today.
Tonight, James Comey, former director of the FBI, now a criminal defendant in a Virginia courtroom, pleading not guilty to federal charges brought at the urging of President Trump. Comey has publicly proclaimed his innocence.
I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial.
Today in court, Comey's attorney telling the judge he will quickly file a motion to end the case before it begins, seeking a dismissal on the grounds of selective and vindictive prosecution, saying this case is being brought at the direction of President Trump. Comey was indicted just 5 days after President Trump publicly pressured Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after him, posting, "Nothing is being done, and we can't delay any longer." 24 hours ago, Bondi was asked about that message.
Do you consider that a directive to the Justice Department?
Senator Klobuchar, President Trump is the most transparent president in American history, and I don't think he said anything that he hasn't said for years.
The former FBI chief now charged with lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding by testifying he did not authorize leaks to reporters. Sources tell us the Justice Department will allege Comey had in fact allowed a friend, law professor Daniel Richmond, to leak information. This, although sources say prosecutors had previously determined Richmond would be a problematic witness who would present likely insurmountable problems for their case. That's because Richmond told them Comey had actually urged him not to engage with the media and not to share information, according to sources. Still, President Trump insisted the case go forward anyway. He removed the U.S. attorney in charge, replacing him with one of Trump's own personal attorneys, Lindsay Halligan, who has no prosecutorial experience, saying Halligan would get things moving. Comey's attorney told the judge today he will argue that U.S. Attorney Halligan was illegally appointed and that this is also grounds for dismissing the case. Again, sources telling us a key witness could be problematic. If the case does go to trial, the judge scheduled it to start soon on January 5th. David?
And you'll be following it. Pierre Thomas in Washington, thank you. Tonight, millions in the east are now bracing for what could be the first nor'easter of the season, a potentially dangerous coastal storm moving in and right into the northeast. Let's get to WABC Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg with what could be brewing and when it could hit. Hey, Lee.
Hey, David, definitely growing concern for this potential coastal low. The building blocks for this storm are still coming together. It hasn't formed yet. But now we're getting more consensus from our weather charts that low pressure will be in the northwest Bahamas on Friday, bringing soaking rains and winds to the southeast coast. And then it makes a very slow move up. The coast could arrive in the northeast by the time we get to Sunday. But if it sticks around and it's strong, you're talking about heavy rain, gusty winds, even significant coastal flooding and beach erosion. That could last Sunday through even part of Tuesday in the northeast. Leading up to that, we got the coolest air since May here in New York, struggling to 60 tomorrow. All that record warm from the Great Lakes into the Northeast turns into mornings in the 30s and 40s the next 2 days. David?
Lee Goldberg back with us tonight. Lee, thank you. Tonight, National Guard troops are preparing to deploy to the streets of Chicago as the war of words between President Trump and Illinois' governor escalates. President Trump calling for the jailing now of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Pritzker saying President Trump has dementia and has something stuck in his head and he can't get it out of his head, calling President Trump's move an unconstitutional invasion. Alex Perez in Chicago.
Tonight, with 500 members of the Texas and Illinois National Guard preparing to fan out across Chicago, charged with securing federal agents and properties, the president ramping up his attack on the mayor and the governor who called the deployment an unconstitutional invasion. The president calling for their arrest in an online post. Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also.
Everything we're doing is very lawful. What they're doing is not lawful.
But the governor calling the president a coward.
He's demented, literally, unhinged. And this is somebody who's so insecure that he lashes out pretending that he can come arrest people for no reason at all. He can't.
In the last 24 hours, Pritzker saying the president has dementia.
Aside from the fact that he's out of his mind and has dementia, it's clear to me that he is targeting Democratic cities.
Telling the Chicago Tribune, this is a man who's suffering dementia. This is a man who has something stuck in his head. He can't get it out of his head. He doesn't read. He doesn't know anything that's up to date.
This is a peaceful protest!
After weeks of clashes, the local officials in Chicago accuse ICE agents of using excessive force. This video showing agents shooting protesters with pepper balls, striking a Presbyterian minister in the head. You can hear the shots continue as he gets back on his feet. President Trump is now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act to send troops into cities like Chicago and Portland for law enforcement.
And David, tomorrow federal judges will hear arguments from state officials trying to block the deployment of the National Guard to Portland and Chicago. David?
Alex, thank you. Meantime, the government shutdown, day 8, no end in sight, and the growing concern tonight over air traffic controllers forced to work without pay. There's alarm over low staffing now, airports including Newark and Washington's Reagan Airport actually reducing the flights coming in and out, slowing down the schedule intentionally so controllers can keep up. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, federal authorities are hoping the air traffic controllers who are still showing up will be enough to keep air travel going and passengers safe. Newark and Washington Reagan facing shortages, forcing those facilities to reduce or slow flights in and out.
My thing is I want to get to my destination safely. I want to be able to hug my wife when I get there and be safe.
I was on the way in my Uber and expecting to fly out around 7. I'm not flying out till 9 now, so I won't get home until about probably 12:30 or 1 o'clock.
Aviation unions say the shutdown is placing a heavy burden on critical workers, and the longer it drags on, the less safe the skies will be.
They are coming to work under an increasingly unsafe scenario because in safety we know that the first rule is to remove all distractions in order to keep things safe. What could be more of a distraction than not getting a paycheck?
And David, already this week there's been more than 10,000 flight delays across the country. David.
Trevor Ault on this for us. Trevor, thank you. Now to the arrest tonight after 5 months on the run, the suspect convicted of double murder, the last of 10 escapees to break out of that jail in New Orleans, found several states away. And tonight you're going to see the images of the standoff. Authorities actually using gas canisters to move him through the house to arrest him. Here's Faith Abube.
Tonight, 5 months after a brazen jailbreak in New Orleans, a convicted double murderer now captured at this home in Atlanta, ending a multi-state manhunt. SWAT teams surrounding 28-year-old Derek Groves, the last of 10 escapees, a tip leading to an hours-long standoff.
We deployed a number of canisters of gas to help move him throughout the house.
A police canine finding the murderer in a makeshift crawl space, according to officials. This was the dramatic scene back in May. Stunning surveillance video showing those 10 inmates escaping. Officials say they opened a faulty cell door, ripped a toilet off the wall, squeezed through a gap, and left this taunting message scribbled above the hole. Too easy. Tonight, authorities grateful no one was hurt. And David, Groves will be transferred to Louisiana to face more charges. David.
Faith Abube reporting tonight. Faith, thank you. When we come back here, there's news coming in tonight on Kiss legend Gene Simmons, what we've learned. Also, country music star Bryan and what he's saying tonight about his new song after critics say it takes aim at ICE here in the U.S. You'll hear the lyrics. Also, the incredible scene on a highway, a medical helicopter going down. Look at these good Samaritans right here. They're actually trying to lift the helicopter up, their rescue effort at a moment. And stay tuned here tonight. Dolly Parton's message this evening for all of you at home. Amid so much concern and after her sister asked fans for prayers for Dolly, what Dolly is saying about her own health and what she wants you to know tonight in a moment. Next tonight here, the images emerging of that rescue scene on a freeway in Sacramento, California. Good Samaritans lifting the wreckage of a medical helicopter to try to free a trapped victim after that helicopter crashed Monday night. A pilot, nurse, and paramedic were all on board that chopper. All survived this, but remain hospitalized tonight. From the Vatican tonight, the first American Pope welcoming some special guests from his hometown of Chicago. Children from Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church and Academy attending Pope Leo's weekly audience, dressed in red cardinal outfits. One student even getting the ultimate souvenir, exchanging hats with the Pope. The students who were so proud of Pope Leo making history, they went viral earlier this year with their own mock conclave. When we come back here tonight, the news coming in on Kiss legend Gene Simmons. There's been a car accident. And Dolly Parton and her new message tonight. She knows many of you at home are concerned for her health and what she's now saying. To the Index, Kiss legend Gene Simmons is recovering at home after a car accident in Malibu on Tuesday. Authorities say he had a parked car after passing out or fainting inside his Lincoln Navigator. The 76-year-old was taken to the hospital and released. Simmons thanking fans tonight for their kind wishes, saying he's fine. Country music star Bryan responding tonight to backlash over his new song. Critics say Bryan appears to criticize immigration enforcement agents in his new song, Bad News. He sings, quote, "ICE is going to come, bust down your door, try to build a house no one builds no more." Bryan says the song was written months ago and the criticism shows how divided we are as a country. When we come back here tonight, Dolly Parton, her new message for you, what she wants everyone to know tonight about her health. Finally tonight here, she is most definitely America Strong. Dolly Parton with her new message tonight. She knows many are worried about her health. Her sister had asked for prayers. So here tonight, Dolly in her own words.
I want to say something. Well, today's October the 8th, and obviously I'm here doing some commercials for the Grand Ole Opry, which is why I'm dressed kind of like a country western girl. But before I got started, I wanted to say, I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay. I've got some problems, as I mentioned, back when my husband Carl was very sick. That was for a long time. And then when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of. So anyway, when I got around to it, the doctor said, we need to take care of this. We need to take care of that. Nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things so I could be closer to home, closer to Vanderbilt, you know, where I'm kind of having a few treatments here and there. But I wanted you to know that I'm not dying, but I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working. So I love you for caring, and keep praying for me.
We most certainly will, Dolly. We're all rooting for you. We should note tonight that President Trump has just announced Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of the peace plan. He says this means all of the hostages will be released very soon. More on GMA in the morning. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.